Hi, Caleb with Brownells here, and in today's video, we have a very special guest. It's Troy from Midwest Industries. Troy, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, I'll just say, what we're going to be talking about today is the lever gun handguards and accessories, like sights and stuff. And I remember when I was gunsmithing in Louisiana, and these things kind of like first came out, I was like, what are you guys thinking? Like, what's going on? It's like, and it took off. It was actually practical. It was something that people really wanted. So where'd that design come from?
Well, we were playing around with lever guns and we were hog hunting with them and stuff like that.
Right.
And we're like, wow, it would be really nice to be able to put a light on these guns. And just if you're in dark areas, stuff like that, or tracking a wounded animal or stuff like that, it'd be really nice to be able to bolt a light on. I mean, us guys were used to playing around with ARs where you'd have easily upgraded rifles to put stuff on, and it's like, well, there's a lot of guys that use these as tools, and this would be a really good solution for a tool.
Right. And
it would be an actual really good practical solution to a problem. So,
yeah, and I mean that's how pretty much all of your products are born anyway.
Well, we try that. So we got back from that hunt and I started sketching some stuff out, and I ended up coming out with it after that, amongst all the pushback from the guys in the shop.
Yeah, I could only imagine how those conversations went, but turns out you were right.
Well, I don't know if I was right, but we came up with a solution that a lot of people like, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if a lot of people like it, in my book, you were right, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so and I mean, you also have not just the handguard, but ghost string sights.
Yeah, so the handguard was the first part of the lever gun series of parts that we came out with. The sights came after, obviously, but they've been actually in development for like 3 years. With how crazy the industry's been, we kind of put them on hold for a while and did a whole bunch of testing on them. The lever guns themselves have been kind of evolving over the last few years. When we put the handguards on guns originally, you didn't see many guns that were threaded. Everybody was having their guns custom chopped and threaded and that kind of stuff, because suppressors in the last 5 or 6 years have really taken off.
Right.
So now you're going to see, we are seeing OEM lever gun manufacturers, guns are coming factory threaded for suppressors. So we're like, well, if you're going to have a suppressor on your lever gun and you have the normal real low sights, you're not going to be able to shoot your iron sights.
Exactly.
But we took it a step farther. You not only have to see your sights, you have to get a 0 on your rifle. And if a guy's shooting supersonics with a suppressor or subsonics with a suppressor, you know how pistol caliber velocities are. They vary quite a bit, or even 45-70, you can download them or upload them, and the velocity and the trajectory of the bullet varies quite a bit. So we put enough elevation in these sights that you can get a 0 with just about any load that you put through them, whether it's supersonic or subsonic.
Excellent. Yeah, because I know like a lot of people that do shoot lever guns, especially with suppressors or without suppressors, a lot of those guys actually hand load too.
Yeah.
Your lever gun community is a lot of hand loaders.
Yep.
So yeah, that's super important there.
Yeah. So we have elevation in the rear and the front, which is kind of odd, but that gives you that extra. It's a maximum amount of range. If you can use the elevation in the front and the rear, there's really not much we haven't figured out or found that you can get a 0 on within practical range of your lever gun, 200, 300 yards maybe.
Yep.
But you're really lobbing stuff out there at that point.
Right, yeah. But people are definitely doing it. And, looking at this one here, as a lever gun, you look at this and you be like, man, there's a lot going on. They kind of tricked that one out. But then you get into it goes even further. You get into something like this here.
Yeah, this is basically like a basic setup with a normal, affordable, anybody can build type lever gun. This gun we did this gun kind of at the extreme level of where you could take one.
Right.
And this gun's a full custom gun. Mad Pig Customs did the action job and the trigger job and put one of their loops on there. And we got a chisel machine stock on here. Hoptic shell quivers, which they can't see, but they're back here.
Right.
This has got our new extended rail system that we just came out with that still has the suppressor type or regular ghost ring sights in it. But this one has a full length uninterrupted rail on the top.
Okay.
This has a sight block on the back to put a magnified optic on there.
Sure.
And then we have a Surefire laser or light on this side, and then a Steiner
Awesome.
laser on that side. So, and then obviously your suppressor. So it's basically about as far as, I'm sure somebody can figure out how to take one farther, but that's as far as we took this one.
Yep. There's always somebody trying to take it that one step further. But
Yep.
yeah, I'd be interested to see what actually goes further than this one right here. Yeah, Mad Pig does some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
This is a super cool gun. So it's obvious, like a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, it's tactical rather than, practical. But obviously, there's a lot of practical uses for this because it's made for a tool and it's made to enhance that tool.
Absolutely. These things work great as far as a lot of guys in Alaska, like bush planes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those guys go into areas that I wouldn't want to go into and without having a light on their rifle.
Right.
There's some pretty nasty critters they're sharing property with up there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the main reason, these things have become so popular.
Yep.
It solves a solution for a platform that's been around forever, and it's just bringing it into modern times.
Yeah, and we talked about, lever actions. Which lever actions specifically are you making these for?
We make accessories for not only the Marlins, which obviously I guess you'd call it a Ruger Marlin now.
Right.
But the old Marlins, the new Marlins, and then the Henrys. That's really about it as far as levers go right now.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten into any other brands right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're out there searching for a lever action to buy, you're going to buy, probably it's going to be one of these two anyway.
Yeah.
These are the two to get right now. I know this is kind of a touchy subject, but as far as the banned states go, where you can't have an AR-15, you can't have an AK, you can still have these guns in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. So this is a great option for that. And, the lever action itself, it's been here for quite some time. I think it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, whether you're riding on a horse, coming in on a bush plane, home defense, lever actions are still a very solid choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Troy, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, you're welcome here anytime. If you have any questions or comments, or if you using the lever action, let us know in the comments down below. We'd be happy to hear from you. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.